The biggest issue facing WWE today isn't the lack of talent. It's their obsession with quick shock value, surprise returns, nostalgia pops, and one-off headline moments, instead of building genuine new stars. Back in the 80s, 90s, and even into the 2000s, WWE superstars weren't just wrestlers. They were cultural icons, names that became part of mainstream entertainment. Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and later John Cena weren't just known to wrestling fans. They were recognized worldwide by people who had never watched a single match. And it wasn't just the top names either. Legends like Kane, Big Show, Undertaker, Chris Jericho, DX, and Rey Mysterio were household figures. They had an aura that went far beyond the ring. But fast forward to today, and the picture is completely different. Outside of Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, almost no one on WWE's roster has true crossover appeal, and even they aren't on the level of those past megastars. Ask someone on the street to name 5 current wrestlers. Most couldn't. There's a serious shortage of star power, and once Roman and Cody are gone, WWE may find itself struggling to attract casual fans again. So how did we get here? How did wrestling go from creating a pop culture legends to struggling with underdeveloped, forgettable performers? Why doesn't WWE make stars anymore? Let's break it down. Chapter 1. How WWE built stars in the past. To understand WWE's current struggles, we need to rewind the clock. When Vince McMahon set out to take WWF national in the 1980s, he knew he needed a mainstream figurehead. Enter Hulk Hogan, a larger-than-life character who had already dipped into Hollywood with Rocky III. Hogan's charisma, look, and mainstream appeal gave birth to the rock and wrestling era. With Mr. T and celebrity crossovers, wrestling broke into the mainstream. Hogan became more than a wrestler. He was a pop culture icon with talk show appearances, a Saturday morning cartoon, and universal name recognition. The new generation that followed brought keen technical masters like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. But while they were beloved by diehards, they didn't connect with mainstream audiences the way Hogan did. That all changed in the late 90s during the Monday Night Wars. As WCW dominated the ratings, WWE needed something new. And that's when lightning struck with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin's beer-drinking, anti-authority, middle-finger-waving persona was everything audiences wanted. His battles with Vince McMahon weren't just wrestling angles. They were must-see TV that drew attention from the wider media. Alongside Austin, The Rock emerged with unmatched charisma, catchphrases, and Hollywood-level presence. He wasn't just entertaining. He was authentic. The Attitude Era exploded because of this. It wasn't just Austin and The Rock. You had Undertaker's dark mystique, Kane's terrifying presence, DX's rebellious chaos, Jeff Hardy's daredevil insanity, and Mick Foley's unpredictable personas. Every character felt unique. Fans weren't just watching wrestling matches. They were connecting with larger-than-life personalities. But then the early 2000s hit, and WWE's system collapsed. As The Rock left for Hollywood and Austin retired due to injuries, the company suddenly had a massive void. Triple H and Brock Lesnar stepped up, but they couldn't replicate the drawing power of Rock and Austin. Vince McMahon realized a hard truth. Creating megastars often meant losing them to bigger opportunities. Hogan had left for WCW. Rock and Austin left wrestling altogether. Vince decided that no one would ever be allowed to get bigger than the WWE brand itself. From then on, WWE changed its philosophy. The company would be the star, not the wrestlers. Still, Vince knew he needed at least one franchise player. First it was John Cena, who carried WWE through then PG era as the ultimate role model. And when Cena's run wound down, Vince spent nearly a decade forcing Roman Reigns into that role, despite years of rejection. Only after reinventing himself as the tribal chief did Roman finally connect, but it took 10 long years of trial and error. Compare that to the Attitude Era, where stars caught fire in months, not decades. The difference is obvious. WWE today manufactures stars in a corporate lab instead of letting them grow organically. Chapter 2. WWE doesn't want stars bigger than the brand. The first reason that WWE doesn't create new stars is simple. They don't want anyone to. Vince McMahon's philosophy is clear. The WWE logo should be the biggest star, not the performers. That's why even when talents like LA Knight explode in popularity, the company hesitates. He has charisma, mic skills, crowd connection, everything you'd want in a crossover star. Yet WWE holds him back. Why? Because they fear he could become another Rock, someone who leaves for Hollywood. The same thing applies to Drew McIntyre. He's got the look, the ability, the presence, but WWE won't go all in, scared he'll get injured or be tempted by AEW. Over and over, WWE prevents its own wrestlers from breaking through, giving them start-and-stop pushes instead of truly backing them. The result? Talents never reach that tipping point where they transcend wrestling. WWE sabotages its own future out of fear of losing control. Chapter 3. The product is too sanitized. The second problem, WWE has gotten too soft, too corporate, too safe. In Hogan's era, storylines tapped into real cultural tensions. Patriotic American hero versus foreign villains. In the Attitude Era, stars did wild, unfiltered things that felt dangerous, real, and unforgettable. Austin hosed Vince McMahon with a beer truck. The Rock's promos blurred the line between comedy and menace. DX pushed boundaries every single week. Kane set people on fire. The Undertaker kidnapped Stephanie McMahon. Triple H invaded Randy Orton's house. These moments shocked the world and made headlines outside wrestling. Now? WWE feuds are sanitized and repetitive. Every promo sounds the same. I deserve to be champion, or I'm better in the ring. Every fight feels safe, choreographed, predictable. Backstage brawls look staged instead of chaotic. Nothing feels edgy, dangerous, or real. Instead of grabbing mainstream attention, today's WWE comes across as bland entertainment made not to offend anyone, which ironically turns fans away. Chapter 4. Celebrity reliance over long-term stars. And finally, the third problem. WWE has become completely risk-averse in the TKO era. Instead of committing to homegrown stars, WWE leans on past legends and celebrity cameos. They'll roll out Cena, The Rock, Undertaker, or Brock Lesnar whenever ratings dip. Or they'll hand the spotlight to Logan Paul, Bad Bunny, KSI, and social media stars because they already have fan bases. Sure, this brings short-term buzz, but every segment given to a celebrity is a missed opportunity for someone on the roster. Every WrestleMania main event teased for a YouTube star is one less chance for WWE to build its own superstar. And here's the irony. These guests often outshine the roster. When Bad Bunny or Logan Paul has a better match than half the locker room, it highlights how little effort WWE has put into building actual characters. This obsession with instant gratification, quick headlines, short-term clicks, quarterly profits, is destroying long-term star power. The sad truth? WWE's current roster might be the most athletically gifted generation the company has ever had. These men and women are faster, stronger, and more skilled in the ring than their predecessors. But in wrestling, pure athletic ability has never been enough. Fans don't fall in love with a moveset. They fall in love with characters, stories, and moments. They remember Stone Cold spraying Vince McMahon with beer, not how many suplexes he threw. They remember The Rock electrifying arenas with a single catchphrase, not just his in-ring technique. And what made legends into icons wasn't what they did in the ring. It was the way they made people feel. That's what's missing today. Without authentic personalities, compelling rivalries, and the freedom for wrestlers to truly connect with the crowd, WWE will never recapture that mainstream magic. And here's the danger. When Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes eventually step away, WWE could be staring down its biggest identity crisis since the Monday Night Wars. But this time, there's no WCW breathing down their necks, no rival company forcing them to adapt. The enemy is internal, their own corporate mindset. A system that prioritizes brand control over star creation, quick social media clicks over long-term storytelling, and nostalgia pops over new icons. Unless WWE learns to take risks again, unless they dare to let performers become bigger than the brand itself, they risk a future where wrestling becomes background noise and entertainment instead of a cultural phenomenon. Because the truth is simple. Wrestling fans don't just want matches. They want heroes, villains, chaos, rebellion, and authenticity. They want stars. And until WWE remembers how to make them, the next Hogan, the next Rock, the next Austin may never arrive.